What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? Obey the law? No. Pay taxes? No, they'll tax you no matter who you are. Hey guys, welcome back to the Girl Gone London channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin. I'm a dual UK and American citizen, and in this video, I am seeing if I could pass the American citizenship test. Okay, so the idea for this video came about because many of you said, oh, I am British, but I don't think I could pass the British citizenship test after watching my video of practicing for that test. And I thought, as an American, would I be able to pass the American citizenship test? Obviously, I'm American by birth, so I've never had to take it. So I'm not entirely sure how this is gonna go, but I'm going to find a practice test and see if I know the answers, and we'll see if you know the answers along the way. Before I get into that, there's one more thing to mention. If you are watching this video on the day of release, which is Thursday, January 6th, do not forget that there is a live stream tonight, 8 o'clock British time, for those of you who are on Patreon. I will put a link down below. We would love to have you involved in all the stuff happening on Patreon. If you want to see my face on your screen more often, which I don't know why you would, but that's the British in me now. The American part of me thinks I'm amazing and fantastic. And of course you would want to spend more time with me. And the British part is just like silently wondering why anybody bothers to show up. So anyway, there is just a note for you. If you don't want to miss the live stream tonight, if you can't come actually in person, but you are a Patreon, you will be able to watch the recorded versions. Okay, now let's get on to the video. Okay, so I found something that's called Test Yourself Preparing for the Oath. During the naturalization interview, a USCIS officer will ask you up to 10 civics questions from the list of 100. You must correctly answer 6 questions to pass the civics portion. Okay, you will need to say the answers aloud. In the official test, the questions are not multiple choice. The British citizenship test is multiple choice. Okay, here you can practice taking the test. I'm about to either amaze you or make a real fool of myself. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? Practice saying the answer out loud. 1776. Select your answer. July 4th, 1776. Phew. Who was president during World War I? Okay, I'm gonna level with you all. In American history classes, there's a lot of history and people say there's not a lot of history that takes place in America in general, but a lot of our history has to do with the colonies and early American history. I'm not lying to you when I say that most American history classes in school, we would basically get to like right before the World Wars, and then we'd have like one more week left in class. So I would say I'm very well versed on like colonial history, but not World War I and beyond. So I'm gonna give myself the multiple choices here. Who was president during World War I? It was not George Washington. It was not Abraham Lincoln. Was it FDR? He was World War II, wasn't he? God, you guys are gonna be like, she's so dumb. Okay, World War I. World War I, I'm going Woodrow Wilson. Yes! Okay, next question. I mean, still not yes, because you guys have now realized how much I don't know, but that was my gut instinct. Okay. When is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? It's going to be someday in April 15th. Done. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? Okay, the federal government, to approve zoning and land use, no. To give a driver's license, no, that's state. To declare war, I would really hope that it is only federal that can declare war. I know some states like Texas think they can, but to provide police protection, I think that's also state. So I'm going to say declare war. True. Next question. What territory did the U.S. buy from France in 1803? Was that the Louisiana Purchase? Louisiana, Texas, Alaska, Lincoln. My first gut was Louisiana, but at some point we did acquire Alaska. But I'm going to go Louisiana. Okay, next question. Name one war, there's a lot, fought by the United States in the 1800s. War of Independence, no. World War One, no. Korean War, no. It's the Civil War. That was like 1840s or something, wasn't it? Civil War, correct. Next question. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? Okay, Eisenhower. The Gulf War was like in the 90s, wasn't it? Or was that earlier? He was a general in, oh God, if I answer the wrong question, I'm going to put him in the wrong time zone or the wrong zone. And you guys are going to know. Okay, gut. Gulf War, no, that was later. Civil War, too early. World War One or World War Two? Two. Yes! Yes, my gut never steers me wrong. Name one state that borders Canada. That would be North Dakota. Easy answer. Arizona, Louisiana, and Texas are all in the South. What are two major political parties in the U.S.? Republican and Democrat. Checks and balances. I belong to the party of balances. Name one state that borders Mexico. California? Texas? Yeah. Texas borders... Oh, yes! 10 out of 10! You guys, I could be a citizen. Well, no, I couldn't because there's no multiple choice. So let's see if it gives us new answers. Okay. Why did the colonists fight the British? You guys, Americans love colonial history. I think we love colonial history because it's just this story that we tell that is just like we declared independence and we were like, no, we will stand up for what we want and what's right. And it's just our story of like overcoming. So we love a good colonial history question. Why did the colonists fight the British? Because of taxes on tea. Hello. Because of states' rights? No. Because of Constitution? No. Voting age? No. Because of high taxes. No taxation without representation. Everybody knows that. Even though America taxes all of their citizens now, no matter where they live, we can still vote. So I suppose we have representation. That is definitely correct. Who signs bills to become law? The president. Chief Justice, VP, Congress, or president? I think the president is the one who actually signs the bill into law and Congress just like creates the bill. There's a song from, what is it called? Something about, it's some sort of like songs about history and politics and stuff, but it's called I'm Only a Bill, and it goes, I'm only a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, it's a long, long journey to the capital city. And you basically follow this bill as he goes through the system. Unfortunately, I can't remember how it ends, but I think it's president. Okay, next one. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Freed the slaves and made slavery illegal. Well, it freed the slaves. I think, yeah, that was correct. How many amendments does the Constitution have? Shoot. 27 was going to be my first guess. Seriously, before I saw the multiple choice, it was going to be my first guess. So we're going to go 27. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? Bill of Rights, y'all. Name one state that borders Mexico. Again. Okay, Texas. Name one war. Fuck, we've already done this one. Yeah, the Civil War. What are the two parts of the U.S. Congress? Senate and the House? Yes. What is the rule of law? Oh, I remember learning about this. Rule of law. All men must register for selective service. I don't think so. Can practice any religion. No. Some states have more representatives than other states. Is true, but is that the rule of law? Everyone must follow the law. Everyone must follow the law seems like the most logical answer to this question. Yes, okay. Name one branch or part of the government. Judicial branch. Political parties, no. U.S. territories, no. Newspapers, no. The courts, yes. Okay, I got 10 out of 10 correct on that one. I wonder if there's another, what else could we do? 2008 civics practice test. So this is on the official website. So it is not multiple choice, but we have multiple choice for our purposes. Okay. What do we call the first... Wait, what is the 2020 version? What the heck is the 2020 version? I don't know. Civics flashcards. Okay, let's just see what this says. Wow, they give you... This is such an American thing. The actual official American site gives you print out flashcards with the flag on them to study. That's hilarious, but I don't feel like doing that one because it's getting confusing. So let's go back to the 2008 practice test, which it says you can still take. What is freedom of religion? You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. Correct. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? Obey the law? No. Pay taxes? No, they'll tax you no matter who you are. Serve on a jury? It will be serve on a jury. Correct. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. Yup. What did Susan B. Anthony do? Okay, these are more similar to the UK citizenship type that I did. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights. Yes. She was an important leader in the women's rights movement in the US. And she's also on one of the dollar coins. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? As a Floridian, if I got this wrong, I don't even know what it would do. The east coast is the Atlantic. What are two rights of everyone living in the US? Freedom to petition the government and freedom to disobey traffic laws. No. Freedom of speech and freedom to run for president. No, because you can't just be anybody running for president. Well, you can, apparently, but not really. Freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Yeah. Freedom of religion and freedom to make treaties with other countries. I'm going to go with C. Freedom of religion and freedom of speech. Correct. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? That would be Africans. Correct. Very, very dark part of our history. And the main cause of the Civil War. Okay. When must all men register for selective service? 16, at any age between 18 and 26, men do not have to register. So I know that they used to have to register, and I seem to remember when I was 18, my male friends having to register, but do they still have to register? Because that seems a little barbaric. I'm going to go between 18 and 26, but I hope that men don't have to register now. You do? All men must register for the selective service between the ages of 18 and 26. When you register, you tell the government you can serve in the military if necessary. This is called the draft. The United States does not have a draft now. You do not have to serve in the military unless you want to. I think this is really unfair, making all men between 18 and 26 sign up. No thanks. Who was president during World War I? Can't get me on it a second time. I already answered this. Woodrow Wilson. What is the highest court in the United States? The Supreme Court. True. What is the capital of the United States? It is Washington, D.C., a very beautiful city if you haven't been. What is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Freedom of speech. In the First Amendment, very drilled into us in school. What are two ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? Give an elected official your opinion on an issue and join a community group. You could write anybody a letter, I guess. Vote and join a civic group. Yeah. All of these answers. Or write to a newspaper and call senators and representatives. All of those sound like something that you could do. Yes. Okay. Where's the Statue of Liberty? I was just there. It's in the New York Harbor. Oh, Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is on an island in New York Harbor. In 1886, France gave the statue to the U.S. Smaller in person than you would think. What are the two parts of Congress? The House and the Senate. Answer B. What territory did the U.S. buy from France in 1803? Again, everybody all together now, the Louisiana Territory. What does the president's cabinet do? Commands the armed forces, all of these. Usually all of these is an option D. They have all of these options in weird places. Advises the president or makes laws. The president's cabinet simply advises the president. True. Next question. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. That would be the Civil War. Ooh, clicked on some sort of pop-up thing. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Because of the state's location, because of the geographical size, because the state's representatives have seniority in the House, or because of the state's population? That is D, because of the state's population. Who makes federal laws? Congress. And the president signs them in, but Congress makes them. Yes! Okay, I answered 100% correctly. I don't know how I would do if I had to do the not multiple choice version, but I've gotten the multiple choice correct. So I maybe embarrassed myself a little bit because some of those were gut answers and I didn't necessarily know the answer off the top of my head. But it's interesting to see the types of questions that I'm seeing on these versus the one I had to answer in the UK. The UK almost seemed, first of all, there's a lot more history involved in the UK than in the US, just in terms of like the years. So you had everything from like Roman emperors to kings and queens to more recent history. So the UK one did seem more like trivia based. It was almost like someone took a pub quiz and turned it into a citizenship test. I feel like the American one does seem, based on these practice tests I'm taking, more of a focus on government and politics and rights and freedoms and how that all works, which is really interesting. I think it does kind of go along with the culture of the different countries as well. So I feel like the British one was more like, how much do you know about British culture and British history and famous British people, and kind of a little bit more of a soft touch when it comes to the political questions, and just more of a like, you know, you need to know the stuff to fit in and to be one of us. Whereas the American one definitely seems to be some president questions, yes, but also a lot of really understanding how the government works and what rights you have and don't have. And I think that that rings true for the American sensibility of, again, we as a country were founded on like taking back our rights and freedoms from the British and really establishing this country like for ourselves based on the Constitution. I feel like this rings true to what an American would consider important to know to become a citizen. So I haven't seen anything in the American one that's like, what's the famous American, I don't know, like football player or gymnast from 2008, which is a question that you would get in the British test, like famous British people in sports and culture and things like that. I was actually surprised that I got them all right, and I would love to hear your responses and your reactions below. P.S. Do not forget, tonight, if you're watching this in real time on the day it's posted, we are doing a live stream on a Thursday night, 8 o'clock for my patrons, so make sure to join before then. If you're watching this video any other time after that, please do still join for our weekly live stream. It might not be the time I say right now, but you'll be able to be updated with messages from me, and we can have more fun taking American citizenship quizzes. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great rest of your week. Bye!